Hello and welcome to Chewing the Fat. Gai Waterhouse took the spoils last Saturday with a Group 1 double after Piero won the Golden Slipper and More Joyous won the Queen of the Turf Stakes. It was a big week for last week's special guest Steph Grentel, who took the winning bid on Black Caviar's little sister at the Easter Sales up in Sydney, a $2.6 million bid. Wow, that's impressive. The attention switches to Randwick this Saturday with 3 Group 1s, the headline, the Australian Derby. But before we get to that and preview all the races, a very warm welcome to my co-hosts, Edward Sadler and Bree Lachlan. How are you guys?
Good, thank you, Nick.
Always good, Nick. Now, I hear you've been winning on the punt lately, and so you decided to treat yourself for the Easter sale. BC3 Thoroughbreds, was that just a nice code for Nick Quinn and all his mates?
No, I must admit I did not buy Black Caviar's little sister. I stopped at about 2.4 million, but it's been a huge program again for our guests. We've had Danny Nikolic riding winners left, right and centre on Machine. We've had Steph Grentel taking the winning bid and Simon Marshall, who joined us on the couch, buying Black Caviar's little sister.
We've actually now got a waiting list of people wanting to get on the Chewing the Fat couch. That's actually quite a hot spot here because they've all gone on to do really good things, not just from this season, but last season, Michael Rodd, Paul Snowden, lots of good special guests who have gone on to do wonderful things after that.
So, and also, Nick, I just wanted to mention, clearly you didn't spend $2.6 million on Black Caviar's sister because you bought yourself a new outsheet.
Yes, well, that's a very good point, Bree. We'll be previewing all the major races at Randwick. We're going to take a break. You're watching Chewing the Fat.
This is Rob Slade from Slade Bloodstock. Buy a share today in our exciting filly by Fastnet Rock, sire of Filly's Machine and Atlantic Jewel. Trained by Gerald Ryan, this is as good as it gets. Call 0417 036 865 or go to sladebloodstock.com.au.
Welcome back to Chewing the Fat. Now, race 7 at Randwick this Saturday is the time-honoured David Jones Australian Derby over 2,400 metres for the 3-year-olds. Now, bookies believe that Gai Waterhouse will continue her domination of the Sydney Carnival, with Laser Hawk the favourite coming into this race. But there is some top opposition from the Kiwis, so let's take a look at the market. As mentioned, Laser Hawk starts at $3.20, Silent Achiever at $3.80, Ocean Park, one of Edward's favourites, $5. Rekindled Alliance at $13. Polished Night at $15 and Ethiopia at $17. What do you think?
Personally, I think the $3.80 on Silent Achiever is over the odds. I think she will be winning, and I think she'll probably start close to favourite. It was an enormous run last start. She had no luck. I think she's got a clear class edge on her at Rivals this Saturday, and she'll be the one to beat.
I like the other Kiwi in the race, Ocean Park. Really good run on the Rosehill Guineas. Had to peel out wide at about the 700 metre mark in that race. Did a lot of work, still finished home strongly to just be beaten by Laser Hawk. So Ocean Park's one for mine. My roughie for the race is Sangster. Worked with Silent Achiever on Tuesday morning at Randwick, and from all reports actually worked better over the 2,000 metre gallop that they had together than Silent Achiever. So big discrepancy in the odds, also decent discrepancy in the current form, but if you're going on any track work, you'd have to throw in Sangster to your multiples. Speaking of track work, this is what the key contenders had to say at Randwick on Tuesday morning. Looking ahead to Saturday, Laserhawk runs in the Derby and coming off a terrific win in the Rosehill Guineas last time.
A very good horse, really good staying horse. And his win in the Rosehill Guineas was enormous. He's gone ahead since then. Neil Payne partnered him this morning and said he just feels fantastic.
Has he surprised you just how dominant his win in the Guineas was, given that he's only a lightly raced horse?
Yes, very much so. I thought he had a great winning chance, but it was the way he won.
How's he come through the run?
Terrific, absolutely fabulous.
And you're confident with the step up to the 2400?
I'm more confident with the 2400. He loves the 2400.
Silent Achiever must be happy with the way she's coming into the race.
Yeah, well, she didn't work as well as Sangster this morning, but all reports are that she's not a flash track worker. So, look, going on a form, I don't think she needs to improve on a Rosehill Guineas run to win the Derby. I really don't. I was just really taken by that run, and she was coming back from 1.5 miles to the 2,000 and just didn't quite have the zip when I needed it, but I'm sure she'll have it over 1.5 miles.
You've got Sangster running in the Derby. What do you think of his Rosehill Guineas performance?
Disappointing, no doubt about it. You know, we tried blinkers on to sort of sharpen him up, find that edge, and it didn't work. He over-raced and just found trouble throughout. By the time they got in the home straight, he'd had enough, so definitely disappointing. But he's come through the race well. We're here, you know, they're only 3 once, and they don't get too many cracks at Derby, so we'll just press on.
Strike the Stars runs in the Derby. Had a tough run last time.
Yeah, it certainly did. You know, Blake elected to sort of push forward into the race at the first furlong and finished up getting caught 3 deep for the trip and made it sort of pretty tough. Sort of 3 deep face to breeze for a 1.25 miles, never much fun. You know, his effort in the circumstances was very good, and you know, hopefully with a bit more luck in the run this time, he'll be, you know, more of a force in the finish.
How did he come through the run?
Yeah, really well. You know, all his gallops since then have been excellent. His work this morning was very good, and he's pulled up nice and clean in his wind, and he's ready for the 1.5 miles and ready to run his best race.
Well, recapping the selections there, Edward, you're going for Ocean Park.
Yep.
I'm going to stick with Gay Waterhouse with Laserhawk. I agree with the bookies. And I don't think this one should be allowed. Nick's sticking with Silent Achiever, really not indicative of Nick's personality, but anyway.
Haven't achieved much, or I'm not quite.
I'll let the viewers decide on that one. Race 5 is the English Size Produce Stakes for the 2-year-olds over 1,400 metres. Now, this promises to be a mouth-watering battle between last week's Golden Slipper winner, Piero, and the boom colt, All Too Hard. Let's take a look at the market. So All Too Hard is starting at $1.50. Piero not far behind at $2.50. Raceway at $26. Ashokan at $51 and $101 plus for the rest of the field. It's pretty obvious who everyone's going for here, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, All Too Hard looks an absolute moral. Scratched from the slipper last Saturday, or didn't accept for the slipper. Look, a boom colt, you said that, Bree. Black Caviar's little brother. I think he'll be winning again.
Gone for Piero just to be a little bit different. He was just terrific in the slipper. I mean, Nash gave him a terrific ride coming through on the inside, but his last couple of 100 metres were terrific. He fought off Snitzland and drew away. And most years you've got to go for the slipper winner going into the size, I reckon. I'm keen on Piero here, but I think the two of them will draw away to fight it out. If All Too Hard wins, I can't see him thrashing Piero. I'd be really surprised if he did, and write your own ticket for the rest of them. This is what Gay Waterhouse and John O'Shea had to say about their contenders in this year's Size Produce Stakes. Now, the Size Produce, Piero backs up.
He certainly does, and Raceway, and both are very fresh and look good. They look really good.
Piero's come through the run okay?
I wouldn't be starting him if he hadn't.
Taking on All Too Hard, it's amazing given that All Too Hard's the boom horse. Yet normally in any other year, the slipper winner going into the size would be the horse with creating the most talk.
You're not kidding, and he'd be the horse that'd be the short price favourite, you know. Quite remarkable. Doesn't worry us, but he'll be very hard to beat. He's a very good colt, Piero. He's very tough. He's got the race experience, which you can't beat.
Stepping up to the 1,400, both for them, is that okay?
Well, his breeding indicates that, and Raceway will do it very easily. He's very, very relaxed horse. Piero's a champion. Simple as that. He's proven himself Australasian champion 2-year-old.
Faustus and Ashokan in the Size Produce. Start off with Faustus. Bit unlucky in the slipper, given that it was drawn wide and had to go forward and cover ground.
Yeah, look, he had to work to get across. Look, probably the tempo of the slipper didn't quite suit him. He's better suited, you know, where he can travel a little bit longer. And on Saturday, he'll get that opportunity at 7. So, you know, looking for a good performance from him. I think he'll run well.
How did he pull up?
Yeah, look, you wouldn't even know how to run. So the backup will definitely suit him.
And stepping up to the 7, as he mentioned, to Chewin.
Yeah, he's been crying out for it. So the tempo of that sort of race is much more suitable for him.
So recapping our selections there, Edward and I are sticking with Piero after the Golden Slipper performance last week. And Nick, you're going for All Too Hard.
My second omen tip in 2 races.
Yeah, I think that one's more appropriate really, isn't it? Well, we'll take a break, but when we return, we'll take a look at the Darley TJ Smith Stakes over 1,200 metres. You're watching Chewin' the Fat. Welcome back to Chewing the Fat. Race 4 at Randwick is the Darley TJ Smith Stakes over 1,200 metres and is worth $1 million. Now, this is a match race between Rain Affair, who has won 11 of his last 13 starts, and, of course, Fox Wedge. Let's take a look at the market. We've got Rain Affair starting at $1.95, Fox Wedge at $2.20, Neeson at $13 and Hallowell Bell out at $17 and $51 plus for the rest of the field.
I was waiting for the Dr. Evil, after you gave the worth $1 million for the race.
I know, wouldn't that be nice?
But I think Connections of Rain Affair will be counting the cash on Saturday night. I think he is an absolute good thing in this race. You touched on the fact he's one of 11 of 13 career starts. Have a look at the 2 times he's been beaten. One was in the Newmarket. The other time he was just flat as a pancake. I think he'll lead. I don't see there being a huge amount of speed. Last start, he was diggerised the entire race by Winter King and was still too strong at the end. So I think Rain Affair's a good thing.
Like Fox Wedge, I thought he was terrific, obviously, in the William Reid, and his past 2 runs in the Newmarket and the Lightning Stakes were very good. High-quality races. I know Rain Affair ran in the Newmarket, but the races he's been winning haven't been of that same quality that Fox Wedge has been running behind Haylist and Black Caviar. You can't get any better sprinters than those horses. So for me, it's Fox Wedge. This is what John O'Shea had to say about Fox Wedge earlier in the week. Fox Wedge runs in the TJ Smith on Saturday. Must have been thrilled with his win in the William Reid at the Valley last time.
Yeah, it was very rewarding for everyone associated with the horse, and he's done well since he's been home, so we're looking forward to running him again on Saturday.
What sort of work has he been doing since Melbourne?
He had a sharp gallop this morning and worked in company, and he's really thrown himself at the line. We're very happy with the way he's progressing. He's fit and well, and looking forward to having a run this week.
And he's taken on the best sprinters in Melbourne, yet this time he's the one to beat.
Yeah, he's raced at the top level his whole career. He's raced against the best horses in the world, and he's acquitted himself credibly every time. He's got his tail in the air at the minute, and hopefully that transfers across to a good performance Saturday.
So, Edward, you're going with Fox Wedge on this one, a little bit different. Nick and I are going to stick with Rain Affair. So
you're tag teaming with different people.
I
each time,
know,
Brie.
what's wrong with me? Race 6 is the Yellow Glen Sapphire Stakes over 1,200 metres for the fillies and mares at Group 2 level. Now, this is the return of Atlantic Jewel, and of course, she is the heavily backed favourite going into this race. So Atlantic Jewel starts at $1.48, More Strawberries at $12, Parables at $13, Midsummer Music, my pick, at $14, Celts at $16, Ladies Angel, who was screaming for me to pick her but I didn't, at $21, and Dystopia also at $21.
Yes, well, Brie, you did say Ladies Angel reminded you of me, but I'm sticking with Atlantic Jewel. I mean, if she's come back anywhere near her best, and for the sake of racing, we all hope that she has, I think she'll just be winning, and I think it's going to be great to see her back on the track, the champion filly that she is. From a punting perspective, very skinny. You're probably going to have to take her into things like All Too Hard, where you can get yourself $2.92 on that double.
Sounds like you already have. Look, obviously Atlantic Jewel, I can't add much more than what you've just said about her. And the form that she's got also through Mosheen, who she beat in the 1,000 guineas. I mean, you look at what Mosheen's done this autumn, 3 Group 1 wins. Can't do much more than that. So no, Atlantic Jewel, if she's anywhere near how good she was in the spring, she should just win this. $1.50 into $1.48 from last night through to this morning. I think she should win and win very easily. For the exactors, the multiples, I'm going to go for Midsummer Music for a bit of value. She's a very consistent mare, and I like her in these sort of fillies and mare sprint races. Now, Mike Moroney's got one of the roughies in the race, Born to Rock. First up, this is what he had to say. Born to Rock in the Sapphire?
Yeah, look, she's on her way to Queensland, where she had a great campaign last time, and she's got a good first up record, but this is going to be a pretty slick field. This just looked the ideal race 4 before she trekked further north, so she's had a couple of jump outs at Flemington and gone well. She's certainly got a better record right-handed than left-handed, so we're just looking forward to seeing her going right-handed again.
So our selections there, both Nick and Edward are going for Atlantic Jewel, and I'm going to stay with the Moody stable for Midsummer Music. Finally, race 8 at Randwick is the chairman's quality for stayers who are on their way to the Sydney Cup. Let's look at the market here. Permit is at $3.20. Once Were Wild, my pick at $6. Older Than Time, $7.50. Efficient, $9. Muirfield, $12. And finally, Hanks at $13.
I'm going to go with Peter Moody's Hanks here. I think he's been racing very well. He showed at Moonee Valley he's an absolute true stayer where he was winning those sort of 3,000 metre races over the summer. I think he's on the path to the Sydney Cup. I wouldn't be surprised if he won that and was a main contender in the Melbourne Cup. So at about the $13 mark, I'm very keen on Hanks.
I think you're dreaming when it comes to Melbourne Cups for Hanks. I'm going to go for Permit. Good run last time when he won at Rosehill, beating precedent. He also beat Older Than Time in that race. So I'm going to go for Permit here. I think he should be very hard to beat.
Me, I'm going to stick with Once Were Wild. And no, that isn't a no-man bet. I think with Gay
He's
Ward...
always been wild, so... yeah.
Sticking with the Gay Wardhouse stable, Gay has had a sensational Sydney Carnival.
She's been winning everything, so it's easy to see how anyone would just want to follow her horses here, where she's got two at about the $7 mark. So, can't talk you out of that one.
Well, that wraps up our preview of the racing action at Randwick this week. Now, before we go to the break, let's have a look at what Randwick track watcher and RaceNet's Craig Thompson had to say in the lead up to the AJC Derby meeting.
Let's look at the Derby. Laserhawk, how's he been working?
He's been working really well, Ed. He's been, well, they've all been set for the race, but he's a horse that I've seen a lot of. He's always looked like he'd make him into a very good stayer, and coming off he raced above himself in the Randwick Guineas, probably a better run than anybody was expecting from him. He's won the Rosehill Guineas since, which I think they'd probably consider that a bit of a bonus. I think they'd have just liked to have seen him there somewhere. I reckon the way he's going, he's probably the horse they'll have to beat Saturday. I couldn't imagine him not being in the finish.
What do you make of Silent Achiever? Obviously the horse coming over from New Zealand with a lot of big raps on her.
Yeah, she looks good. She had a strong gallop this morning. She worked with Sangster, a pretty searching sort of work. I'd say Sangster has improved, looking at him this morning. Silent Achiever, I would say, has probably held her level. I don't think there's any improvement left in her, but it was still a pretty good run there in the Rosehill Guineas. You couldn't rule her out.
Austbrokers Bloodstock. For horse owners, by horse owners. With all the answers to protect your investment, Austbrokers work for you to provide the right cover and the best value. And most importantly, they're in your corner when you make a claim. Austbrokers' business is built around relationships. That's why our clients have been with us for so long. Horses are not just our business, they're our life. Why not talk to one of our team today? Call us on 029 570 8355 or go to our website bloodstockinsurance.com.au. Austbrokers, young faces, years of experience.
Welcome back to the show. Now, we're going to find you a winner for this weekend with our best bets and roughies, or more to the point, I'm going to find you a winner for this weekend with my best bet and roughie, but we'll go to Nick first.
You're right, Edward. She has become arrogant.
She has.
My best bet of the day in Sydney is in race number 2, number 3, Fat Al. I think this horse is really going places and I think looks the one to beat. And one at odds at about the $31 mark. I'm quite keen on Ironstein, or Ironstein, depending on how you pronounce it. This horse was spectacularly back first up and didn't really fire behind Niagara, but I think second up might be a real smoky.
Mm-hmm.
And my best bet is Flemington Race 3, number 11, Houston Benefactor for Sejanho and Malua. Terrific run when caught out wide at Moonee Valley and then hit the line really well. Horse looking for greater distance, so the step up to the 1400 will suit, and about $5.50 on the fixed odds.
I love it when you tip the Malua horses because I know you've got a bit of inside knowledge.
Get on now before it's too late. And my roughie, going to be a clash of the roughies this week because they occur in the same races for us. And the Doncaster Prelude at Randwick. I like Happy Trails, number 15 in that race. I think he's been ticking over pretty well, and I think he's at about $13 coming into the race, so I'm going to go for Happy Trails in my roughie for the week.
Have to have a coin on the Quinella.
We might have to.
And what about you, arrogant one? What have you come up with?
Well, my best bet is one of my previous best bets and is back on the track in Jelly Baby. This is at Flemington, race 2, number 5. So get on that one, viewers. And my roughie is actually in the Derby. It's Ethiopia, number 11. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I understand that it is one of the favourite roughies going around this weekend.
Yeah,
So.
Pat Carey's horse has had a similar career path to Cedarburg, the ill-fated Cedarburg, so not the worst roughie and probably not the silliest thing you've ever said, Brie.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So I'm looking forward to this weekend to see how accurate I am.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you both on the couch again next week. Regrettably, it's that time of the week where we have to wrap it up and say goodbye, which is obviously always very distressing. But thank you for another great show, Edward and Brie.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Quinny.
Nick.
That's, as we said, that's all we've got time for on Chewing the Fat. Make sure you join us next week, though, as we preview the big one, the Doncaster Handicap. It's going to be a cracking race, and we're going to help you find a winner. And we're going to be joined on the couch by a huge racing identity. Who it is, you'll find out when you join us next week. You've been watching Chewing the Fat.